All right, yes, it's about 40 minutes past the hour mark of 5, and I know you thought we would never show, but guess what? Let me say it in the way they say it in the local palace. Money soup went sweet, now money kill 'em. Yeah, meaning we just had to get all the issues, all the materials together. Never, what do you think? Anyway, it's time to take you around the ever exciting world of sports, full of plenty of action, full of plenty of drama. And we start with the Under 19 World Cup, where Junior the Tigers finished 12th in their debut campaign. Yes, Nigeria's Junior the Tigers concluded their maiden appearance at the 2025 FIBA Under 19 Women's Basketball World Cup in Czechs. And of course, it was one of those many disappointing outings with a 96-71 loss to China in the classification round on Sunday, finishing 12th overall. The two sides had previously clashed in the group stage, where Nigeria secured a narrow 93-88 win over the Asian giants. However, in their second meeting, China turned the tables to avenge the loss with a commanding performance. China dominated the first three quarters, winning 26-14, 30-21, and 23-18, while Nigeria narrowly took the fourth quarter 18-17. Yeah. Under the guidance of coach just standout performance for Nigeria include Now let's give you some tennis action where with the draws chart of the 46th edition of the CBN Annual Senior in the men and women single categories of the tournament at the tennis court package B of the Moshood Abiola Stadium. Feature a round of 64, while the women's single is a round of 32. Also, the men's and women's double will be decided in the round of 16, and same round of 16 applies to the wheelchair category. Now, some of the top players expected in action are Sylvester Emmanuel, Ime Joseph, Anu Ayebusi, Oyinlomo Quadri, and the women's single defending champion Mary Love Edward, amongst others. Acting Director Corporate Communications of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Hakama Sidi Ali, reaffirmed the Apex Bank's continued support for the championship. The tournament, which started with the qualifiers on Friday, will end on Saturday, the 26th of July, 2025. More tennis action. This time, French Open semi-finalist Lois Bolson clinched her first tour level title at the Hamburg Open on Sunday after a 7-5, 6-3 win over Hungarian Anna Bonda. Now, in a clash of first-time WTA singles finalists to secure the WTA 250 clay court title, the 22-year-old made waves last month in her Grand Slam main event draw debut when she ranked 361st, soaring through the French Open as a wild card entrant, bowing out at the semi-final stage to eventual champion Coco Gauff. Now, this is the first time I've given a winner speech, so please bear with me, Bolson said before offering a simple dark thank you to the German crowd. Bolson faced heartbreak with a first round qualifying loss at Wimbledon, but found her form again on clay and is set to raise above her career best ranking of number 63 in Monday's updated WTA rankings. All right, away from tennis to developments in Abeokuta, Ogun State, where the CAA under 18, under 20 championship is still ongoing. Well, we hear that Gabon's national hammer record holder Kenza Falana is setting that her time to rule the spotlight and make headlines is now. Now, it's a medal within reach for the young Gabonese hammer thrower who was selected to represent her country at the CAA Under-18, Under-20 Championship holding in Abeokuta, Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria. Now, the 18-year-old who broke into the international stage a year ago at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris added that she is looking to revive the spirit of unity, commitment and collaboration to back rising athletes in Africa. Speaking before a silver finish at the biannual championship, Falana said she was ready to rule the continent as soon as possible. The hammer thrower from the Université des Paris emphasized that she had no doubt about her capacity to perform. Falana, a multiple-time under-18, under-20 champion with a World Athletics certified personal best of 57.50 meters, said her next goal is to break the African record. The girl from the land of Bantu, who spends her leisure time on artistic drawing, said that her love for the sport and the thrill of winning fuels her. Falana, who had a high chance rewriting the African record in hammer throwing, put out kind words for athletics faithful back home and across the continent. She stressed that making one's presence felt in a major championship is not limited to early starters in sport. She concluded by giving her target for the next couple of years, and her powerful African sports story amplifies what the continent, but most especially Gabonese sportsmen and women, can achieve with the right motivation. The young lady from Libreville is a finalist at the most elevated sports stage on the black continent, carrying the hope, dreams and aspiration of her country, and she's sure to make both her nation and Africa proud. Signed by the Secretary General of the Handball Federation, Monica Otumala. The National Division 1 League, the promotional league into the top-tier handball league, will take center stage from the 7th to the 18th of August 2025 in Umuahia. Otumala also said the technical meeting involving all officials of the teams and contingent will be held on the 7th of August, while matches will commence the next day, the 8th of August. Now, she also advised that the participating teams to commence registration immediately, as all registrations would end on the day of the technical meeting to get promoted into the top tier handball premiums of the Handball National Division 1 League. And well, where the signature of all eyes as they brought a thrilling close to a championship. Despite spirited effort, Shehu Diko described the tournament as a masterpiece that showcased Africa's finest talent and the power of sports to unite. Of course, furthermore, the Director General of the women's under 24 by 400 meters event, the formidable quartet of Obot Udo, Toibat Jimo, Anita Enaruna and Jimo, Anita Enaruna and Favor Onya delivered a commanding performance, smoothly passing the baton, leaving South Africa and Zimbabwe in their wake. With over 35 countries participating and thousands of fans in attendance, the Abeokuta 2025 CAA Championship will be remembered as a benchmark for with its blend of athletes. The African Karate Championship athletes from 31 the African Karate Championship athletes from 31 nations have arrived Nigeria. Thousands of athletes representing 31 African countries have arrived Nigeria ahead of the 2025 African countries have arrived Nigeria ahead of the 2025 African Karate Championship. The much anticipated event is scheduled to take place from July 21. The much anticipated event is scheduled to take place from July 21 to the 28th and will feature a wide range of competitions across various categories, including cadet, 14 to 15 years of age, junior 18 years, senior, para, karate, and wheelchair divisions. Now, according to technical director David Jack, spread attention across the continent as Africa. All right, as we go into the round letter game, let's give you the highlight. All right, as we go into the round letter game, let's give you the highlights of the Waffle B under 20 boys. And when we come back, of course, we begin to give you all the latest updates as far as the round letter game football is concerned, right here on Sports Lounge. All right, all right. It's still Sports Lounge right here. Just making sure that we got all the stories set up. And right now, going to the round letter game, reports that Super Falcon star Asisat Oshola has announced her retirement from international football have been confirmed as false. Yes, as false. Well, on Monday morning, a viral post from an unverified social media account called Roni FC claimed that the six-time African Player of the Year would retire after the ongoing 2024-2025 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco. Several online platforms quickly circulated the story without proper verification. However, sports rotation has confirmed that Oshola has not made any such statement and is fully focused on helping Nigeria win a record 10th WAFCON title. Now, the Super Falcon will face a top semi-final test against South Africa on Wednesday, with Oshola determined to lead the team to victory. Oshola has not posted any retirement message on her verified social media accounts, and credible sources close to her have dismissed the claims. Oshola, who opened Nigeria's scoring in the tournament with a quick goal against Tunisia in the group stage, is widely regarded as one of Africa's greatest female footballers. With 6 CAF Women's Player of the Year award, she remains a vital player for both home and country. All right, we hear that former Super Falcons captain Onome Ebi has praised Ashley Poulter as the perfect successor to Nigeria's iconic number 5 jersey, which she proudly wore for 2 decades. Now, taking to her X handle, Ebi wrote, and I quote, "Best replacement for my number 5 jersey, which means a lot to me after 20 years since birthday 8 May, just the name change from Ebi to Poulter, and the energy, discipline, consistency, and dedication are almost the same. I'm proud. The legacy continues." And of course, responding to the tweet, Poulter wrote, "Grateful. Thank you for the legacy you led and continue to live." Ebi's legendary career in the history of the Women's African Cup of Nations, few players can match Onome's longevity and impact. The central defender remains the most capped player in the tournament's history with 7 appearances: 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018, and of course 2022. Ebi's consistency, leadership, and defensive solidity helped Nigeria dominate women's football in Africa, winning 4 AFCON titles during her career: 2010, 2014, 2016, and 2018. She also represented Nigeria in 5 FIFA Women's World Cup and earned over 100 international caps. Although Nigeria did not win the 2022 title, Ebi's dedication and leadership remained a shining example for future generations of Super Falcons. Of course, Poulter carrying the torch now, who is currently starring for Nigeria at the 2024 WAFCON in Morocco, has been widely recognized as one of the tournament's standout defenders. The Al Ittihad captain was recently named in the team of the group stage for her commanding performances and calm leadership. Of course, born in Leicester, England, Poulter represented England at youth levels in under 15, under 17, under 19, and under 23 before committing to Nigeria, her father's land, ahead of the 2022 WAFCON. Since then, the 27-year-old has become a key player for the Super Falcons, blending strong defensive skills with an ability to contribute in the attack.
MK Abiola International Stadium and the 3rd edition of the Under 18, Under 20 All African Athletics competition is going on. Right in front of us now, behind the camera, medal presentation is going on. Do you remember your first medal?
In all Oseni as individuals running that race, because we were all students, fresh out of college, and into the limelight, unprepared, don't know what we do, but we just love what we do. And here comes the bronze medal, the first medal ever to female athletes in Nigeria.
At the Olympics.
At the Olympics.
Now, Ma, you are in Ogun State, capital of Bioko, grassroots. You know, grassroots athletics is going. it's been tough. How does this impact? How do you think this impacts from your experience? Grassroots athletics in Nigeria.
Us, Nigeria hosting this championship is the best thing that will ever happen to us. We have been clamoring on grassroots sports development for ages. So for us to be hosting a grassroots competition of this magnitude in Nigeria, it's the best thing that will ever happen to us.
Now, Ma, tonight, have you seen any future Mary Onyale on the tracks today?
I saw more than enough Mary Onyale out here, both in the male and the female. Actually, my joy holds no bounds today. Why? Because the women, the under 18 women, first and second, were my athletes. I wouldn't say my athletes were the people; they were my prodigies.
Wow!
I introduced them to track and field, and I introduced them to the high school that they are attending right now. You see, every athlete comes from somewhere. They don't just drop from the sky. So each state, each country, each continent, if they focus on grassroots sports development and give it time to grow, they will eventually yield fruit.
All right.
I have one more comment.
Okay, Ma, go ahead.
The National Sports Commission chairman and the DG.
Yes.
I have never seen any two entities that are like two peas in a pod. They are so warm. I think it's their energy and their warmth that they brought here and is making Nigeria shine. A lot of competitions, events that we wouldn't have come close in the years past, but these athletes are excelling.
Yeah.
And I have to thank the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our President Tinubu, and for giving us this opportunity to present.
All right, Mary Onyale Omagbemi there. Of course, I mean, recounting her experience yesterday, Sunday, as the CAA Under 18, Under 20 Championship came to a grand finale in Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria. And of course, what a spectacle it was as far as Nigeria is concerned. And of course, don't forget, here in the FCT, big developments as Nigeria is gearing up to host over 400 arm wrestlers from over 20 African nations at the 14th African Arm Wrestling Championship built for Abuja here from the 23rd to the 27th. 4 days of the very best of arm wrestling championship right here in the nation's capital. The spotlight is on arm wrestling, a sport that could be a game changer for Nigeria's continental success. Now, at the 13th All-Africa Games held in Ghana, Team Nigeria's arm wrestlers were the surprise heroes, bringing home a powerful 13 medals, including 4 gold, 2 silver, and 7 bronze medals, respectively. Now, this contribution was instrumental in securing Nigeria's overall second place finish, edging out South Africa and showcasing arm wrestling's huge potential for delivering podium gold. Now, according to engineer Samuel Jackson, President, Nigerian Arm Wrestling Federation, the sport is just scratching the surface of what's possible. Yeah. Honorable Adeboye Adeyinka, chairman of the LOC and SSA, to the president on grassroots sports development, echoed the urgency and opportunity. Currently, 132 Nigerian athletes are in camp ahead of the Abuja Championship, backed by increasing government and private support. Now, with over 400 athletes and officials expected for the Continental Showdown, the championship is shaping up to be the largest and most impactful in African arm wrestling history. Now, as Nigeria positions itself as a dominant force in the sport, and it's clear this sport is about more than just strength, it's about national pride, opportunity, and of course unlocking Nigeria's potential to dominate Africa's sports again. All right, let's go back to the round letter game where Senegal's Minister of Sports, Abasse Fall, has officially presented the national flag to the country's home-based team ahead of their departure for the 2024 African Nations Championship CHAN. Now, the symbolic event signals the start of Senegal's title defense campaign, with the tournament set to run from August the 2nd to the 30th across Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Now, present at the ceremony where Abasse Fall, Minister of Labor, Employment and Institutional Relations, representing the head of state, Kida Dieng Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, and Augustin Senghor, President of the Senegalese Football Federation. In his address, Minister Fall called on the players to show patriotism and determination. And of course, Federation President Augustin Senghor also commended the team's preparation under the guidance of the technical crew. Senegal has been drawn in the same group as Nigeria in the upcoming tournament. Now, coming back home, President of the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, Ibrahim Gusau, has expressed his full support for Super Eagles head coach Eric Sichel. Sichel, a French-born tactician, taking charge of the national team following the departure of interim manager Austin Eguavon. Despite the team's current challenges, Sichel remains unbeaten since assuming the role. In an interview with UK-based Nigerian journalist Osasu, Gusau reaffirmed the Federation's commitment to supporting Sichel and explained the rationale behind his appointment as head coach of the Super Eagles. And of course, he continued by saying that I asked him what he needed to succeed, and he said he wanted all his assistants to join him. And I said, fine. He took over the team in a tough situation, something many coaches would have turned down. Despite all the difficulties, he has assured me that he will qualify for the World Cup. We have no intention of making last-minute coaching decisions, as we understand how risky that can be, Gusau concluded. Now, ahead of the new MPFL season, Kano Pillars have received new kits ahead, and the Commissioner, Ministry of Youth and Sports Development in Kano State, Mustafa Rabiu Kwankoso, made the presentation to the club management. Notably present at the handover ceremony were the chairman of Kano Pillars Management Board, Ali Mohammed Umar, newly appointed general manager of Kano Pillars FC, Ahmed Musa MON, and of course chairman of the Kano State Sports Council. So everything's looking all set for the new MPFL season. And now that the talking about the MPFL season, now that the party is over in the celebration of the 2025 Presidential Federation Cup competition for Kwara United, it's time to wake up to the realities that the team will play 3 tough competitions in 2025-2026 season that will commence in the month of August. Now, Kwara United will play in the Nigerian Premier Football League, the CAF Confederations Cup, and also defend the Federations Cup, which they won this season, which translates to the quality and quantity of players they must engage. Now, experience has shown that teams playing in the continent would need to redouble their efforts because of fixtures congestion, meaning that a tiny squad may not be advisable. So Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has led the way last Friday when he paid 176 million naira, being the balance of the 201 million owed former players and officials spanning 3 seasons. Now, Governor Abdurrazak, while hosting and rewarding Kwara's 2024 National Sports Festival medalists at the State Banquet Hall, announced the approval and release of the sign-on fees owed the former players and officials by past management of the team for the past 16 years. Now, while announcing the payment, the governor said that the gesture again underscores his government's commitment to the welfare of all, including athletes and coaches. Now, the president has taken care of part of the conditions for participation in the continental competition. To be eligible for CAF inter-club competition, clubs must meet some club licensing requirements, which includes competing in a national league recognized by CAF, home stadium with at least 10,000 seats, register with the National FA club statutes aligned with CAF rules, stable and transparent finances, no outstanding debts to players, creditors, clear financial plans and budget, free from legal disputes and conflicts for interest management systems. Others include complying with CAF transfer regulations, functional youth team, under 20, under 17, head coach with a CAF A license, and in place. Kwara United will obviously play its continental matches away from home, just like it happened in 2022 because of the present condition of the George Agbazika in stadium complex. Even though the stadium has capacity that is far above CAF requirement of 10,000, the absence of a scoreboard, perimeter fence, good playing surface may be a hindrance, as it may be difficult to put in place between now and the commencement of the 2025-2026 CAF Confederations Cup competition. Now, agreed that Kwara United will have to do with the hiring of a CAF A licensed coach, as happened in 2022, as Coach Tunde Sani has a CAF B license, and the technical crew must begin to assemble and work on their continental squad by now. The team needed money now to clear players and, of course, concentrate on building a strong team, as Coach Tunde Sani has pledged in a recent interview. Kwara United must surpass the record of their participation in the 2022-2023 edition. The team lost out in the first round to RS Bakane of Morocco on away goals rule after playing 3-3 aggregate over the two legs. Kwara United won 3-1 in Lagos and lost 2-0 in the return leg in Morocco. Now, they dismissed AS Nduns of Niger Republic 3-0 in the preliminary rounds, winning 3-0 at home in Lagos, and then recording a clean sheet at the General Seiki Conte Stadium in Niger Republic. Now, the first time Nigeria played in the continent was in the year 2000, when they lost out in the quarterfinal at the defunct CAF Cup Winners' Cup to Zamalek FC of Egypt, and they won the first leg 2-1 in Ilorin and lost 4-0 in Egypt. With good preparation and early release of funds as at when due, and with adequate support and motivation, Kwara United has the potential of going far in the competition. Now, with the campaign in the Nigerian Premier League and the 2026 President Federations Cup competition part of their journey this coming season, the team would need a lot of concentration to navigate the hurdles ahead, which of course is surmountable if they stay focused, have their eyes on the ball, and of course have the right people on the bench with adequate preparations. Now, the party is over. The preparation must begin in earnest. All right, Adedeji, Rivers United have strengthened their squad ahead of the 2025-2026 Nigerian Premier League season with the signing of Chinedu Sunday. Now, the talented forward joins the Port Harcourt-based club from newly promoted MPFL side Kun Kafilafat FC, following an impressive showing at the Nigerian National League Super 8 playoffs that held in Asaba, Delta State. Now, Sunday was one of the standout players for Kun during the playoffs, and is now expected to compete for a spot in Rivers United's star-studded lineup. The former MPFL champions are intensifying their preparations for what is expected to be a challenging campaign in the new MPFL season. The 2025-2026 MPFL season, of course, kicks off on Friday, August 22nd, and you know how it is. We got our ears to the ground and our searchlight beamed on how the ball kicks off to start the league in the new season. Well, we hear that playing in the UEFA Champions League is always a dream for many footballers, and Nigerian forward Imendon has described his debut for Misalmi as a special feeling despite his team's exit from the competition. Ndon made this Champions League bow on Tuesday, 15 July 2020, during the second leg of the first qualifying round against Finnish champions KUPS. The Norwegian winger missed the first leg, which his club lost 1-0 in Finland. Well, last season, Ime played a key role in helping his club win the Moldova League title with style. Speaking after the game, he expressed his excitement, saying, and I quote, "Making my debut in the Champions League was a special feeling. Every footballer's dream is to play in the UEFA Champions League, so for me, it was a special moment. I will keep working hard for more moments like this." End of quote. The second leg in Moldova ended in a goalless draw, which was enough for KUPS to progress 1-0 on aggregate. Of course, interestingly, KUPS once had another Nigerian forward, Niekbeno Udo, who, like Ndon, hails from Akwa Ibom State. Yeah, interesting. While Milasland's Champions League campaign has ended, their European journey will continue in the UEFA Conference League. Ndon and his teammates will face Bodosnos of Montenegro in the second qualifying round on Wednesday, 23rd July 2025. And to wrap up today's show, well, Ikorodu striker, skipper, and Super Eagles defender Waliu Ojetoye has officially signed with Hapoel Jerusalem. Now, the versatile right back inked a one-year deal with the Israeli side after a successful outing in Ikorodu City debut MPFL season. And exciting times ahead for Ojetoye as he takes on a new challenge in Israel. Well, that's how we call it a wrap on this edition of Sports Lounge. Trust us, as always, to keep our ears to the ground on our search